Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you an update on my account with the prop from the 5%ers, as well as an insight into the trades that I have taken this week. Unfortunately, I've slipped into a little bit of revenge trading this week. You can take years learning about all of these things to do with trading, about technical analysis, about trading psychology, the importance of risk management. And you can take years building up experience and carrying out these techniques, but still, trading psychology comes and it gets you. It's a constant process. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience this week slipping into revenge trading, how I managed to handle that so that it didn't run away with my account, and how I managed to turn it around so that I still ended the week without slipping into the red. But this week has been quite a busy week for me trading the Forex market. It's been epic. I usually stick to a strict plan where I aim for a weekly target, and once I hit that, I stop, because alongside trading Forex full-time, I'm also a full-time mother. I have two children who are currently just over 2, and then the other one is coming up to 6 months. So it's pretty busy, and I try to keep trading as simple as possible. That being said, I have taken quite a lot of trades this week, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later in this video. But on a personal note, it's been a really fun week as well. I've spent a lot of time with my children. We've been going out doing lots of activities, catching up with friends, and Sam, my eldest, who is just over 2 years now, hasn't that gone fast, had his 2-yearly review with the health visitor this week, which he absolutely smashed. Which was amazing, proud parent moment. He managed to do all the activities that she was getting to do and more. And in fact, he was really interested in her laptop. And I was pretty sure that if we loaded a trading chart up there, he would be able to identify and teach her something. So before we dive onto the charts and I share with you my trades I've taken, I just want to remind you guys that you can download a free trading plan from my website. I have got a link below in the description. So if you want to download that for free now, and then you can maybe make some notes and follow along, and it might help you to build your own trading plan or create one if you don't have a trading plan already. It'll guide you on that process. All of the software I'm going to be using will be linked in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And let's dive into the main video. Okay, so before we dive into each individual trading day, reminder, I am an intraday trader. I trade a strict time period, which is mainly the New York trading session, which for me is 1:30 GMT till around about 4 o'clock GMT. And before we dive into the intricacies of my day trading strategy, let's just take a moment to have a look at the overall time frame here for pound dollar, which is the pair that I focus on trading. And this is a very interesting chart because this is the 50-minute time frame. I've zoomed out so the candles are quite small, and we can see we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Currently we're on Friday, the day that I'm recording this. I'm not trading today, and I'll talk a little bit more about why later. But as you can see, looking here, what do we notice? Price is quite clearly in an uptrend. It's been trending quite nicely this week, making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And I think it's quite nice to look back at the end of the week and just take note of this very simple behavioral pattern, because we will see how this affected my trading activity in a bit. So moving here into my platform, I trade on the Metatrader platform. I've actually thought about trading in TradingView this week, but this is just what I'm used to. It works, and if it works and it's not broken, I'm not ready to put any time into changing that. But this is the platform that I trade with my prop account with the prop from the 5%ers. I also use Metatrader in my live account with Vantage, but I'm not going to go into that on this video. We're going to focus on the prop trading account with the 5%ers. So I'm in my history, and I have organized this so that this is the data from this week, the week starting the 4th of March 2024. And as you can see, this is a lot more than my usual 1 to 2 trades per week. I've actually taken 8 trades this week. I've had 4 losers, 2 at break even, and 2 winners. So the odds haven't been in my favor in terms of accuracy, but I have maintained a good profit loss ratio, which is why I have finished the week break even. In fact, I'm up by about $5, but after the commissions, and it's pretty much break even. And here's one of the key points to remember when you slip into over trading is sometimes commissions can really get you. If you take on loads of trades and a lot of them are losers, you've got to remember that those commissions, the fees it costs to take the trade in the first place, add up, and that could really build that losing experience quite quickly. Which is why when I take a trade, part of my risk management strategy is to always let the trade pay for itself. So I cater the commission fee into my stop loss and into my take profit order, so that I'm always aiming for just a little bit more profit, or I'm always having my stop loss just a little bit tighter so that it pays for the cost of the trade, which is why I'm actually just up a little bit and break even. But when you take into consideration that I have just lost that little bit less than my usual risk and made a little bit more, it actually balances out as such. So you might be wondering, you're quite happy considering you've not made anything this week trading. And well, I am, quite honestly, because as you can see, I started the week with 3 consecutive losers. It was a bad start to the week for me, and I got a little bit emotional. But then as the week progressed, I managed to get my head sorted out, I managed to get focused, and I managed to make that back. So I'm actually quite happy. It's been a choppy week trading. I got emotional, and I'm just quite content that I have finished break even. I'm happy to be at the same place I was at the start of the week, because I know that I can return to the markets next week with a fresh head and hopefully then get back in the right direction, making some money. So what happened this week? Well, let's start off by having a quick look at Monday's trade. Now I've got a screenshot here up of the trade I took on Monday on pound dollar. This is the 5-minute time frame. It's always crucially important to review your trades. In case you don't do it, I definitely recommend it. Quite simply, I add my annotations on TradingView, I take a screenshot, and then I save it to my computer so that I can have a look later at the end of the week like I am now with you guys and look where I went wrong. And for this trade on Monday, the main thing I did was I did not take into consideration the daily time frame as much as I should have done. My strategy is pretty much based around the daily time frame, so to kind of not respect that enough is really poor, and that's what I did here, because on the daily time frame my analysis at the start of the week was very much long biased. As you saw at the beginning of this video, we had a really nice uptrend this week. On Monday, straight away, I went short, which wasn't the right thing to do. As you can see here, I had this area highlighted. We had a couple of breaks of the previous daily high, the key level, and when we got this initial push up and then a drop back down, for some reason I just figured that it was a good place to go short. I thought it was a rejection. But as you can see, that didn't quite work out. I've received quite a lot of comments from you guys lately asking me to go over some losing trades. And quite honestly, the last few weeks I've kind of been on a bit of a green streak, which is probably why I slipped into emotional trading this week as it is. But that's why I haven't been sharing any losing trades. Well, as you can see this week, I've definitely taken some losing trades, and that was trade number 1. Trade number 2 was on the Tuesday, and this was the day that I slept into revenge trading and I got emotional. So I'm going to break down this trade with you now on the charts on TradingView. But before we jump onto TradingView, I almost forgot one of the crucial parts of my analysis at the beginning of the week alongside technical analysis is fundamental analysis. And I use Forex Factory News for this, which is a brilliant free resource. Needless to say, this week there's been quite a lot of high impact news for the US dollar, which I think has, although it's been creating volume, it's also created a bit of choppiness for me because the news release has been later in the afternoon and I found it a bit trickier to trade at that time with my children. So on the Tuesday, there was a news release at 3 p.m. GMT for ISM services. So that is the backstory of my trade for Tuesday. So I loaded up the chart here on TradingView. I've used the bar replay tool to go back in time. So I've removed the present day data and we've gone back in time to Tuesday's trading data. In fact, I have taken it back just after 3 o'clock. So this is just after that ISM services news release, which was in favor of the pound. So we saw this big push up, which broke past the previous daily high. Now, this is pretty much what my strategy is based on. There are many key components in my strategy. If you want some more detail on that step by step, I have created multiple videos, so I will include a link above so you can check that out. But pretty much, we got a broke past the key daily level, the previous daily high. It was a large push up and it closed above it. So instantly, I'm looking for a position long. For me, as per my strategy, market structure plays a very important part. And as you can see, the low of this swing here is down here. And so the best place for me to have calculated an entry for a long would have been to look for a deeper pullback, or at least look for the most recent one before this huge push up, which would have been down here. So essentially, I should have waited for price to come to the area where the momentum came from, around this key daily level. But I didn't. I experienced a mixture of FOMO and a mixture of revenge trading. FOMO because we had this big push up here and I was afraid to miss out on the move, so I wanted to get in quickly. And revenge trading because I was already down on my account. I was down 1 on the week. And I haven't experienced that for quite some time. I've been on a green streak. And this can be the downside of having a green streak, is when you take a loser, it does knock you and you have to really take control of that. And I kind of had a bit of a choppy emotional experience at this point. So I was watching price action here. I wanted it to come down to this level, but instead it kind of pulled back and then it pushed higher. And at this point I was getting frustrated because there was an opportunity to get in for long there and I didn't take it. So at this point I used this pullback here and I placed my Fibonacci tool, the low at the pullback here. I placed my Fibonacci tool at the highs and I set an order around about this level here for a long. I used a 10 pip stop before the lows and I used a 1.5 R profit loss ratio. Quite a few alarming signals here that I can see from a clear head. So firstly, I've set my order quite high away from these key daily levels, away from where price is going to naturally want to return to the scene of the crime where the momentum came from. That's usually where price likes to come back to because there's liquidity sitting there. But I was experiencing FOMO, I was experiencing revenge trading. I didn't want to miss the opportunity. I wanted to get in. The emotions were in control. The other alarming signal that I can see now from a clear head is this candlestick. To push up in this way and then have such a large bearish candlestick down, that's a huge candlestick of momentum, which to me shows that it's probably getting extended and price wants to come down. Plus, at this point in time, it's 4 o'clock GMT, which for me, that's usually the end of my trading day, which only added to my emotional experience of FOMO because I thought, oh no, I shouldn't really trade now. I've missed the opportunity. I'm still down on the week. All of this was just getting me het up and made me want to get into the trade even more. So I set this trade against my better judgment now. And price came down, it triggered me in. And when we had this candlestick form where we had, it's a doji, it's a bearish doji, but the body didn't close below this previous pullback. And as this candlestick formed, I told myself that price was bottoming out and it was making a double bottom. And so you can guess what I did? I added to my position. So I was in a position quite extended from the scene of the crime. It was buying at the highs. It was now officially at the end of my trading session. So it's after hours. I don't usually trade here because the volume dwindles. And here I was doubling my risk. This is how I got emotional. And although price sort of thought about it, it instantly rejected it. That would have been a good place to get out because it broke the high of the previous candlestick, but then it dropped back down and we had a bearish pin bar. So at that point, I should have probably reduced my stop on both of those trades by half to just reduce my risk back to its normal risk, but I didn't do that. Instead, I held in the hope that it would go up. Another opportunity here to reduce my risk and get out because we didn't get that immediate push up, but instead I held and price came down, it stopped me out. So here I took 2 losing positions, but it was essentially on 1 trade setup, which is these 2 rows here. So Tuesday evening, although I was disappointed in this was actually the day that my eldest smashed his healthcare review, and I was just in too much of a good mood to really be affected by this, which was probably a good thing because if I had, a bad day, I suppose, in other areas of my life, probably would have been hard to overcome the trading psychology that's involved. But instead, I was just in too much of a good mood. I wasn't going to let it get me down this time. I've kind of been there enough over the years of trading. I've been there, I've done that. I've screamed, cried, like punched cushions, all sorts to try to get a handle on trading psychology. But now I'm just at the point where I just knew that I'd slipped up and, it happens and it's okay. And just accept that and forgive yourself. And for me, I just kind of got on with it really and told myself, hey, the market is going to be back open again tomorrow. All I can do is make sure that I respect my plan, make sure I trade at the right time, make sure I don't double my risk, and just do my best. So I went away and I had a break. And then the next day I managed to come back with a really nice trade, which was this trade here. And this was a really beautiful trade. I got into it a little bit early because once again, we were waiting for news release at 3. So I was a little bit reticent, but it wasn't a massive news release. It wasn't data. It was just some talking. But here we can see that price had been kind of trending up higher again during the morning and pretty much midday and then the start of the New York session, the first 2 hours, we were kind of consolidating. And it's consolidating underneath the key daily level. Now, once again, as per my daily analysis, I am long biased. I'm looking for longs here. And I thought that there'd be quite a lot of traders who probably would see this as a double top pattern and look for a reversal entry short. So there'd probably be a lot of liquidity sitting above these levels, which would make for a big move up, which we got in the end. And I also felt like this is, one of my mentors call it a pressure cooker. It's where you get a consolidation for quite some time and it builds up pressure. So when you do get a pop in a direction, it can really pop and move with momentum. And because I was long biased, naturally I'm looking for longs. Now, this was a tighter entry. I got in here with a 10 pip stop and I was basically just trading the New York session window here. This pattern here, I didn't decide to use this in my stop because the way that this is formed, this sort of V shape, price has left that and then it's making higher highs and higher lows. So I felt like this would be a good setup here. I utilized the Fibonacci retracement and just focus on time theory. And so originally my target was looking for 3R, 3 times my risk, if I push past the $0.50, but I trailed a very tight stop this time. I used risk management in a different way, and although I could have made more on the trade, I'm still happy that I made 2R on this position. I guess I felt that if I really tried to wait for it to hit 3R, but it, rejected this level before it hit 3R, it could drop. I didn't want to take that risk. I didn't want to slip into revenge trading again because that would be trying to make more to make back my account. And instead, I just wanted to trade the best trade that I could. And so I made 2R on that trade. Back in my account here on MT4, or MT5, back into my account here on Metatrader, we're slipping into Thursday. Now, Thursday was quite a choppy day for me trading. As you can see, I actually took 4 trades. So can't you tell that my boys both had a nap in the afternoon? It was a rare moment where both Sam and Theo both went for a sleep. They had a big nap, both of them at the same time. And yeah, it would have been really nice to just put my feet up and chill. But instead I thought, let's trade. And so I took 4 positions. Now, the kind of joke of it really is that the first 2 positions, if I had just held those 2, I was long. They would have won and they would have made a nice win and I would have actually hit my weekly target and be up green on the week. But I was kind of being a little bit too on top of the trade, managing it, instead of letting it work for itself. I'll show you a screenshot. And that was this position here. And instead, I also had another long set with the target up here. But instead, I got out of that one early. And as we got this pin bar up here, it didn't hit my target. That sort of rejected this key daily level. And I instantly thought that we were going to get a drop down because it was just after news was released and we got this rejection. So I flipped short. It happens sometimes, but it didn't like that way either. So I took a loss. So I had 2 break-even trades and then a loss on Thursday. So once again, I was down. I thought, right, I'm not ready to give up yet. I've got some time here. And sometimes you have to kind of get into the market and get your feet wet to get a vibe of what it's doing. And here, price obviously wasn't going down and my original plan was long, so I readjusted my thinking and thought, yep, let's go again for long because we had the push up and the break above the key daily level. So let's zoom in here and you can see that it's quite tight. This was on the 5-minute time frame, but it worked out well in the end. We had a little pullback here and another strong bullish engulfing candle, and this is what I use for my setup to calculate my entry long. I use the Fibonacci from the low here. It's the pullback just after the breakout above the key level, and I got in and it was actually a beautiful entry. As you can see, price just came down, the wick tapped my order, triggering me in long to this, and then it pretty much just went on up. But once again, I was debating on having a larger target, but instead I just aimed for a 2R target, which is 2 times what I was risking, and price hit that. It was a really nice trade. It went up, so it made back the loss I took earlier in the day, and it put me up 1 on the day, which if we look back in my broker, as you can see, that pretty much eliminated the previous losers as well. So in a nutshell, those are the trades that I took this week trading pound dollar, day trading on the faster time frames during the New York trading session. And I can be content at being break even on the week because A, I'm not in the red, and B, I got emotional, I'm still not in the red, so that's good. And C, because the account I'm trading is my account with prop from the 5%ers. And if you're not sure who they are or what they do, I have created a separate video. I'll include a link to that above this one, so you can check that out and find out some more information. I've also got a link in the description below. But basically, a prop firm, if you're not familiar, is a company that allows you to trade their capital and you take a split of any profits that are made on the account. Now, you don't just get to trade their account, you have to prove your skills, your ability as a trader by passing a challenge. The 5%ers have a few different programs, challenges that you can take depending on what kind of account you want to trade. I've actually experienced all of these accounts. I haven't passed the boot camp, and the high stakes I did recently when I was pregnant. And I'll talk more about that in a separate video. I've actually been asked about this account, so if you want to know more, let me know, and I'll prioritize that in an upcoming video and go into detail on that experience. But right now, I'm in the hyper growth program, which is pretty much in the name. As you make more profit on the account, they scale up your account, and it's hyper growth because you can really increase that account all the way up to $4 million, which sounds great, doesn't it? Now, I do have a plan in play for this account for growing it, and at the moment, it seems quite realistic because that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for simple and realistic. And I can talk more about that in another video. If you're interested, let me know below. But I am in the $40,000 account on this, and the best thing about this account, in my opinion, is the unlimited time limit. There's no time limit, there's no deadline, which really helps to manage trading psychology, which has helped me out this week. I've managed to turn around my trading psychology because in this prop firm account, I don't have a time limit. I'm not pressured. I've just got to manage the risk and do the best that I can. And so that's really helped me out this week. And it's why I recommend the 5%ers, because I think they have a great range of programs available if you're looking for funding as a trader. However, if you're fairly new in your journey trading Forex, if you're not ready for a prop firm, if you're looking for more information on getting started trading Forex, I have this year published a book. It is aimed for beginners on how to day trade the Forex market. So I'll include a link to that below in the description if you want to check that out. Meanwhile, if you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by smashing the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.